If you've ever played Valorant, CSGO, Fortnite, or really any competitive game, you've probably hit a point where you've kind of plateaued in your skill level. One where maybe no matter how hard you try, you just cannot rank up and move forward. Yeah, I've been there too. But then I found out about FaZe's new collaboration with SteelSeries, the FaZeClan gaming setup, and it changed my game. Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Grayson. This is Tech with Me, and thanks to these new FaZeClan peripherals, I might be going pro. But first, before we go any further, I post every other Friday. So if you enjoy this video and want to see more like it, subscribe so that you don't miss a single one. Anyways, let's get serious for a second. The FaZeClan setup collaboration with SteelSeries includes a mouse, a keyboard, a headset, and a mouse pad. I have personally chosen not to get the headset or the keyboard because the keyboard I have now, my Glorious G MMK Pro I think it is already a better keyboard, and I don't really use headsets, so there wasn't a point in me keeping one around. But with that being said, I will be talking about it later on in the video, at least the specs and stuff, so stick around if you want to hear about that because I'm at least going to go over them. As far as the Aerox 3 wireless and the QCK mousepad, the FaZeClan editions go, they didn't really make me better. Let's be honest, the only thing that's going to make you go pro is hard work, dedication, and consistency. If you want to be a pro gamer, that's what you need. Not a fancy mouse and mousepad. That'll help, but yeah, I still suck. But so far these products are pretty nice. The quality is pretty good, even though they do have a few small issues. As far as the Aerox 3 goes, the design is pretty nice. Red camouflage with a very small, easy to miss FaZe logo on the left click button, but I kind of like it a lot actually. The scroll wheel also has a really nice textured design that I really like, and I feel like there's got to be some significance to the design. It's not FaZe specific though. It seems like all of the Aerox 3 wireless mice have this, but as I kind of looked around and researched, I couldn't find any significance to it, but it does look nice, it looks cool, and it feels good to use. Although to me, it seems like they did kind of miss the opportunity to imprint the FaZe logo on the scroll wheel. They're already doing a textured design, so why not just change the design itself to a FaZe logo and just go all the way? It just kind of seems like a missed opportunity, but it looks pretty nice nonetheless. It does use the standard honeycomb pattern that most ultralight mice use, but it comes in at about 68 grams. This is still fairly light, especially compared to mice a few years ago, but if we're being fair, most quote-unquote ultralight gaming mice come in quite a bit lower than that nowadays. It's kind of on the heavy side for an ultralight mouse. It also has two programmable buttons on the side, which is basically the standard, the bare minimum for a gaming mouse nowadays, and a DPI button below the scroll wheel, which we've talked about before. Not all mice have that, and I love to see it because it is better that way. You can either use Bluetooth or the 2.4 gigahertz wireless receiver it comes with. Both work relatively well, but usually in my opinion the wireless receiver is the way to go. And as far as the shape goes, it actually felt really nice. It's a little wider at the tail end of the mouse, which I think is really nice because it lets your fingers have something to kind of hook onto. Helps keep it in your hands a little bit. The RGB design is probably my favorite part about the mouse though. I really like that it shines up and out of the honeycomb, which is standard for a mouse with the honeycomb design. But one thing that I've never seen on another mouse that this one has, and I actually really enjoy, is there's kind of a line that goes around the bottom of the mouse that you can see even when you're holding on to it, that lights up and changes colors with the rest of the RGB. And honestly, I would love to see this on more mice. It's really cool looking, and it actually gives a function to the RGB when you're using the mouse versus just staring at it, because who sits there and stares at their mouse? Nobody. There is some bad though, and it's nothing major, but it did lead to some annoyance when using the mouse. I have to assume that all of the SteelSeries mice do this, or at least all of the Aerox 3 SteelSeries mice do this. Hopefully this isn't something that's just happening on the FaZe edition, but with that being said, this is the only Aerox 3 I have, so it could just be something with my mouse itself. When you step away from your PC, the mouse goes into like a ultra low power mode or a sleep mode, which I don't mind by itself because it helps keep the battery charged and helps it last long. The battery life is rated at up to 200 hours, just FYI. But the issue I run into is that when you go to actually use the mouse, you shake it to try to wake it up, it takes an abnormally long amount of time for it to wake up. And I have had other mice before with this kind of like sleep low power mode, and they just didn't seem to take as long to wake up and reconnect like this one did. And it's not like a killer, like it doesn't ruin my experience, but it does kind of suck to get up to grab something to drink or use the bathroom or whatever it is you're doing, come back ready to game or get back to work, and then you have to wait like a minute, or at least it feels like a minute. It's definitely an abnormally long amount of time for it to wake up, and it just kind of takes you out of it. Like you're just sitting there waiting, there's a timer going in your head, and it takes a while. Other than that though, I have really enjoyed using this mouse, especially paired with the FaZe Edition QCK gaming mousepad. The QCK mousepads are pretty much like legendary in the gaming community. I feel like they were most people's first gaming mousepad, and I know that was the case for me. When I went shopping probably 6-7 years ago, I was first getting into PC gaming. I was playing Overwatch. I bought my Razer Death Adder and I needed a mousepad to go with it. It seemed like the QCK mousepads were all you can find as far as large, like sizable gaming mousepads. They were the standard. The FaZeClan edition of the QCK mousepad is their XXL edition, which is about 35 inches wide, 15 inches deep, and it's a ton of room to use, especially if you've got a large desk. This is probably plenty. You could get bigger like desk pads that cover the whole thing, but if you're not going that route, this is definitely sizable and you don't feel like you're running out of room at all, or at least I didn't. Once again, it features a camouflage design on the mousepad itself, and there is a large FaZe logo in the bottom right corner of the mousepad. I've been mostly happy with it. It's large enough for my needs, it's soft and thick enough that you don't feel the hard surface of the desk beneath it when you're using it. The only drawback I've found is the like camouflage design, the way it's imprinted on the mousepad itself. It almost feels like it's a different material from the rest of the mousepad. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I'm not sure, but it kind of feels like it. This isn't a huge issue, but it does feel like my hand doesn't glide across the mousepad as easily in these areas as it does the rest of the mousepad. Now, the mouse itself, I haven't had any issues gliding across it. It doesn't seem to affect that, but when my finger or my pinky hits it, it feels like there's a little bit more like, almost like traction, like it's grabbing my finger a little bit more. And this hasn't really affected my gameplay, but it might bother you more than it bothers me. I just felt like it was something I should put out there because it's not perfect. Lastly, as I stated, I haven't really picked up the FaZe Edition Arctis Novas or the Apex 9 Minis, but they are fairly well reviewed. The Arctis Nova 7 features a FaZe logo on either ear cup. It's got the red camouflage pattern on the headband. It offers 7.1 surround sound and a 38-hour battery life. Honestly, for only $190, it seems like a pretty good deal. And like I said, they're well reviewed. The way it looks is definitely really cool. If I use the headset, I don't think I would mind it. I like that it matches the mouse and the mouse pad perfectly. The keyboard, on the other hand, honestly doesn't seem that different from the actual Apex 9s though. It seems like they just kind of replaced the spacebar with a red camouflage one and called it a day. It does tie in with the rest of the setup, but there's not really a whole lot about it special to make it FaZe themed, at least from what I can tell looking at it online. With that being said, the RGB does look pretty cool on it though. The keyboard in general, FaZe or not, just has nice RGB. SteelSeries seems to do this really well. And it's a 60% keyboard, so you're gonna have plenty of room on your desk pad to use all of it if you have the whole setup. Overall, I find these products to be pretty cool. I'm a huge FaZe fan. I like everything FaZeClan. Started with years of watching FaZe Jev on YouTube. He's honestly probably one of my inspirations, even though I don't make that style of content. I love that guy, and I love a lot of the other FaZe members. They're all pretty cool. So I'll definitely keep and use this mousepad and mouse for a while. I don't know that I'm always gonna daily drive the mouse just because the reconnecting issue is a little annoying, but I also don't foresee me switching it out for anything like tomorrow or anything like that either. I could use it for months. And who knows, maybe I will pick up the headset in the future. I always like to try headsets. I think if I found one that I really liked, I would probably use one more often, but for now, the speakers just work better for me. My question is, what do you guys think? Would y'all pick up any of these products specifically because they're FaZe designed? Do you think the designs look cool? Are you a fan of FaZe, or maybe you're more of a fan of Optic? I don't know. You tell me. Let me know down below in the comments, because I would love to hear from you. I always have, and I always will. Either way, the one thing I really do truly know is I enjoyed making this video. I've enjoyed these products, and I would love for you to enjoy watching it. And if you did enjoy watching it, I would love to have you guys subscribe. We're shooting for 200 subs. As of filming this, I'm at 125, and I want to see that number grow. I'd like to be at 300 by the end of the year. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to catch my other videos every other Friday, go ahead and subscribe. That way you don't miss a single one. Thank you guys very, very kindly for watching. My name is Grayson, and this has been Tech with me.